Alrighty. Cool. Alrighty then. Crisis averted. Okay, so, hi guys, welcome to Doom 3. My name is RipChip, and hopefully you guys enjoy the run. Hopefully you guys are enjoying Valuethon so far. Thanks to everybody who's shown up so far, and special thank you to the people who have donated for the cause. So yeah, we're going to be running Doom 3. I'm going to go ahead and give a countdown. In 3, 2, 1, go. Alrighty, so the beginning of this game is a little bit slow, but that'll be a good chance to explain kind of the general speed tech of the run. So every Doom game kind of has a unique, like, sort of speed tech to it. Classic Doom has, you know, strafe running with SR40 and SR50. Doom 64 has cool speed stuff you can do with neutral reset on the N64, and Doom 2016 you can jump on a rail and go into outer space. This game's speed tech revolves around traditional Quake-styled strafe jumping, which is kind of cool. But knowing Doom 3's level design, being how claustrophobic as it is, there isn't chances to do super long strings of it, so a majority of your time save's going to be utilizing it where you can. On top of that, another important thing about that is crouch jumping. This will allow for a lot more cleaner movement, so you don't bonk your head and get stopped. Along with that, there is stamina in this game. It's that yellow bar below my health. And managing that's really important throughout the entire run, because it will not, in the areas we can't jump, that's our fastest movement option. And even when we are jumping, it gives us a good start with our speed. I should mention that I am running on a very specific version of BFG Edition that allows cutscene skipping. BFG Edition is much faster than Vanilla Doom 3 for a number of reasons, the biggest one being that during cutscenes we get all our stamina back. In Vanilla Doom 3 that's not the case. What else have I not mentioned? Another thing that's going to be really important throughout the entire game is just knowing trigger level triggers and manipulation of those, which ones we need to avoid and which ones we have to, you know, cross to get access to other parts of the game. Yeah, like I said, the beginning's slow. The first few minutes are just kind of introduction to the game. I guess more of like a tech demo than anything for what this engine's capable of.
To the dungeon, Marine. Most unexciting place on Mars.
And here we have NPC number, like, 1 of 60 that are voiced by Steve Bloom.
Okay, grab your gear.
Another thing that's really important about this run is that there's a good emphasis on enemy combat and eliminating certain enemies, and what's interesting about that is the fact that every single weapon in the game gets used at least once, which I think is pretty cool. Even this pea shooter right here of a pistol we have.
Just follow the main passage through the underground junction and straight out. You'll have a quick evac. And what better way to see the Martian?
Alright, I'm gonna also be pretty conservative with my saves, in case something dumb happens. Alright, so this section we need to go through as quick as we can because we want to beat a trigger that causes a bridge to lower, which is going to save us time in the second half of this level. There we go. Alright. And pay attention, because that's more just to show something important about this game. NPCs in this game can die in one shot in pretty much every scenario. For him, it's not important, but it is just something to know. Make sure you remember that. You're going to be quizzed on this later, so... Alright. Also, interactable things have like this mouse functionality where you have to move it on and click something, and it can be a little bit iffy. So sometimes my movement might be a little bit whack with the mouse. Alright, so killing that guy's actually relevant because it's faster to kill him as an NPC because he turns into a zombie. It's faster to kill him when he's not a zombie because, you know, one shot is better than the 3 or 4 it takes to kill a zombie. But now the Hell Invasion's beginning, and this is where the game starts to actually become a, you know, become Doom 3. Alright, and an important thing with general combat with enemies is almost universally headshots will do the most damage. That is not as important for some cases as others, but in general, the best way to get the most damage on enemies is to hit them in the head.
I say again, fall back. Squad leader, get sit rep. Over.
Alright. I also love how unbelievably pathetic this pistol sounds. It's funny because the zombies with pistols have the same weapon, but theirs sounds, you know, incredibly more powerful. Alright. There we go. So that bridge right there, if we didn't beat the trigger to it, we would have had to wait for that to rise up later R when we got there. And here we're getting both the most useful and most unreliable weapon in the game. Anybody who's played Doom 3 can attest to this, the shotgun. And the reason I say that is because theoretically at point blank it can kill most enemies in one shot. The problem is the spread can be extremely random and not do the job. And there's almost nothing I can do about it if that happens. Alright. So we're just gonna get around that. That just skips us having to wait on some falling stuff. Alrighty, so now we're going back to Mars City. You're gonna find that it is a lot less clean and a lot more chaotic than it was when we first got here. We're gonna take a jump here onto this ladder. Normally we have to kill an enemy for it to lower, but it's just low enough that we can just jump straight to it. Which is convenient. Alrighty. And another thing about this game is that there are PDAs everywhere that have codes and stuff that you need to know to unlock doors and item vaults. We don't have to pick up most of them. There are a couple we need to just unlock areas. But anything with a code is predetermined every time you play the game. So if you know the code, you can just open it. And that's going to be very useful for a couple different doors. Let's just cut some time off of the game. And we've got to wait for this conversation to happen with Sergeant Kelly. So we're just going to get some resources for the early game. Mostly shotgun ammo, if any, for, you know, doing stuff like that. But we cannot go any further until this conversation ends, so we're just going to sit here and wait in this door. So that we can get access to get out of here. Like I said, the beginning of this run is a little bit slower, but once we get out of this map, things are going to start getting a lot more fast-paced. As you can see, in just a few minutes, this place has absolutely gone to hell, so it's up to this one lone ranking FNG to save all of Mars. Oh god, I almost got Donkey Kong there. If you're not careful, that barrel can actually kill you. But that didn't happen, because I'm a god gamer. Alrighty. So, as I mentioned earlier, trigger manipulation is a pretty big part of the game. And just walking past your triggers access to the next area. Normally you're supposed to go all the way through that hallway for a prompt to tell you that you need a key to unlock that area, but the trigger is like way earlier than that. Oh, that's one enemy that I didn't kill. That's gonna happen quite a few times. There has never been a single Doom 3 run where the shotgun's done everything I needed it to, so just be prepared. There's gonna be plenty of instances where this is gonna happen. And this scene is probably the scene everyone remembers the most casually playing the game. The introduction of the Pinky. We're just gonna ignore him. Pinkies are kind of one of the most obnoxious enemies in this game. Not because they're like super strong or anything, but when they hit you, it sends your head flying and makes aiming anywhere really hard to do. So hopefully we won't see him at the end of this hallway. Yep, nope, there we go. Sometimes enemies will come through this hallway, that's just kind of luck-based. And enemy RNG usually isn't like a huge thing to worry about in this game. There are a couple places where it can just slightly hinder you, but there's very few instances where it can outright just ruin your run. Alright, now we're getting into Alpha Labs. Alpha Labs is what I consider the first major gatekeeper of the run, because this is where the really difficult tricks in the run start to appear, starting with this map right here. Oh, damn it. Alright, so I'm going to save here just in case. So we're going to do a ramp jump here, or a slope jump, hopefully. I want to get this sooner rather than later. And so we are going to use the sloped geometry there to get an extra boost with our jump. Allows us to get over to the other side to open up access to this area. And slope jumping is fairly useful in a couple different places in this game. And there's a bunch of fire here. We're just going to run right through it. Alright, and these enemies here are the maggots. We're going to see them a lot, but they are arguably the biggest pushover. Even with a very hastily thrown out shotgun shot, these things will generally die with ease. Sometimes that won't happen, but for the most part it's pretty consistent that they're just easy to kill. Alright, so I'm going to save here. Like I said, I'm going to be a little bit conservative with these saves. Or, not conservative, I guess liberal is a better word here. But sometimes a barrel will appear there, and that can be bad news. Alright, so coming up here is a lot of different things that are going to have to be explained after I do it, because it's hard to explain at once. First thing I'm doing is an explosive jump to get a PDA to open this door right in front of me. Nice, first try. Alright, here comes the difficult part. Right. Alrighty. So, after doing that, we have to go into that room because there's NPCs in the background doing stuff. If we clear that room and get access to that hallway as quick as possible, we can kill those NPCs, because like I said, they die in one shot. And the result of that is that we get the BFG from Campbell. And we are not supposed to have that gun this early in the game. And it's going to be really useful at the end of Alpha Labs, as well as a couple of other sections early game. However, because we got it so early, there's no ammo for it pretty much anywhere up until we get to about Delta Labs. So yeah, we now have the BFG this early in the game. And the BFG is a very, very powerful weapon in this game. Alrighty. And the fun thing about Doom 3 is, like I said, every weapon gets used pretty much at least once. That includes the grenades. A lot of people casually like to think that the grenades are fairly useless, and they kind of are. But in this run, we have a couple of places where we'll implement them, because they're more optimal. Alright, so normally in this section, we're supposed to follow a guy with a lantern, but we're not going to do that, because we're trying to be fast here. We can take a few shortcuts. Alright, I got that first try, nice. If I screw up any of those jumps, I die, so glad I got them relatively easily. Alright, so the real annoying part of this level actually isn't that jumping we have to do, it's the platforming we have to do at the end of this map. Because we're going to be jumping across stuff and doing platforming on geometry that is not designed for it, so hopefully this doesn't take too long. Oh, right, first try, let's go. But yeah, we're using some pipes and a health kit to get up there, and it's a lot faster to do it that way. Alright, so some of these skips might have seemed cool, some of the speed tech, you know, it's alright. But coming up here in Alpha 3 is the most pivotal speed tech in the run, so I'm gonna need to focus. Okay, this is going good. Alright, alright. Okay, halfway there. Alright, it's not over yet, though.
Toxic gas levels
I'm a little nervous, guys. Ooh, is this gonna work? Oh, there we go. Okay, sweet, we did it. Yes, that's awesome. Alright. Everyone, please clap in the chat. For your boy has done the impossible.
Toxins present. Please execute cleanup procedure.
Alrighty.
Cleared. Waste disposal.
And we have to do all this just to get a key. You know, fun stuff. Alright, but that's like the real hype section of this level. The rest of it's pretty straightforward. Just have to do a lot of killing in order to unlock this door. Like I said, combat plays a pretty heavy part of the run. And knowing which enemies to kill is really important. Because, like I said, a lot of areas are locked based on enemies that die. Some areas have only specific enemies that need to be killed. Some of them you have to kill all of them. Alright, sweet. This level went pretty well. Alrighty. Now we're on to the last part of Alpha Labs, which is also pretty tricky. There's a lot of difficult jumping you can do to save time. I'll try to do my best with it. This guy we have to either activate the chamber or save him. Saving him is faster. Otherwise you have to deal with some enemies. But in this section there's two different routes we can actually take through the level. One of them involves the service bridge. That one's the faster route that we're going to take. And we have to wait a little bit for the bridge to become active, so we're going to do a little bit of sidetracking here to get some health, as well as adrenaline. Adrenaline's a really useful item in this game because it gives you a temporary period where you have unlimited stamina. So managing your stamina becomes a lot less difficult to worry about, and a lot less to worry about. Oh god, okay, that's what I'm talking about. If I'm not careful with my jumps, I'll just fall off. We don't want that. We played a little safe now. Now this room is full of some of the most annoying enemies in the entire game, because the hit scanners, specifically the shotguns, are really hard to deal with, and they will shoot you and send you flying across the room sometimes, and that's just a pain in the butt. Because a lot of times they'll send you far enough that you can't shoot them back. Alright, just for safety I'm going to grab this health. Alright, so I mentioned earlier we picked up the BFG. This map is really where the first and really important use of it's going to be. Because we're going to have our first sort of boss fight. And at this point, this boss's health is pretty high for what we're supposed to have, but with a two-shot BFG, we can kill it in one hit. So yeah, you are clearly not supposed to be able to do that because the BFG does way more damage than that boss is intended to handle. Alright, so now we, like I said, we don't get any other ammo for the BFG for a while. So there's two particular maps where we're going to use the rest of the ammo. This is one of them. And the use of it here can be really, really iffy. But I'll explain that once we get to it. Alrighty, we're also going to introduce the Lost Souls, which are, true to the Doom name, one of the most annoying enemies in the game. I don't think there's a single Doom game where Lost Souls aren't awful. These ones are just annoying because they can really just knock you out of the way, and sometimes in this map in particular, if you're not careful, and you jump, and they hit you, you'll get thrown off the map, and that will be a bad time for everyone. Alright, so now we got a little bit of an elevator ride. I'm gonna drink some water in the meantime. Remember to be drinking water when you're watching this marathon. That's important, guys.
Warning. Reactor core temperature beyond acceptable levels.
Gotta find that transmission card.
If Swan gets his hands on it, I don't know what.
Alright, so we just gotta make our way over here to replace one of the cores on this plant generator. As you can see, it looks like it's going to explode. We don't want that to happen.
950 degrees Celsius.
Oh, come on. Oh, shoot, that's bad. I did not mean to do that. Whoops. Alright, so this is gonna make this section a little bit more tricky. Hopefully I just get lucky. But normally I'm supposed to use the BFG at the end of this elevator. I accidentally switched to it because I hit my hotkey on accident. But that's fine. I need this. This is more. That last BFG shot's more important later in the game than it is here. But the thing I mentioned about that BFG shot in this situation is sometimes the BFG shot will kill absolutely nothing, which is just unideal. But we want to use it just to do some crowd clearing. As you can see, there's just a lot of enemies here. I gotta be careful because I don't want to go. I have to take a very specific movement route through that room. Oh my god, I almost died. But yeah, I need to be very careful in that room because there is a spawn right, or a trigger right in the middle of the room that spawns a bunch of enemies and locks the door in front of me. We don't want that to happen. Alright, so we're almost at the end of this level. Alright. We made it. That was rough. So now we're on to communications transfer. This level is not that bad up until we get towards the end of it. There's a pretty big skip you can do in this level that pretty much circumvents the main objective to getting to the end of the level. But for the most part, it's just pretty straightforward leading up to that point. We do a minor enemy manipulation there because that shotgun enemy can prevent us from going down there just by shooting us. If we just wait a little bit, he'll move into a place where he can't knock us out of jumping range. I'm also going to save here, and I realistically shouldn't have to, but for some reason in this game, it's this wonderfully of art. Ladder sections and certain geometry can get you stuck, and if you're stuck in there for too long, the game just defaults to killing you. Alrighty. So now we're gonna get the chainsaw. The chainsaw is an extremely useful weapon. Does a lot of damage. Oh nice, I got a one-shot. Sometimes you can one-shot those zombies. It doesn't happen very often, though, so it's good. But this weapon will make very short work of most of the enemies in the game. It's pretty much your alternative weapon for things that won't easily die with a shotgun. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of crowd control here. I want to kill these Caco demons so that they're not in my way for this next thing here. We're going to be doing a, like I said, a big skip right here, involving a slope jump up to this thing, and I'm going to align myself a very specific way here, so that I can jump across here. It saves you from having to do a really annoying section of this game. Oh nice, another one shot. That doesn't happen very often, so I'm very happy. And we're just gonna take a minor shortcut here. Gonna save because this electrical railway can kill us very quickly if we're not careful. And we're going to be introduced to Berserk, which has a couple of effects. The big one being that it amplifies our damage, but it also makes you invulnerable to regular enemy damage. And on top of that, it also makes you faster, which is kind of cool. Since somebody mentioned it in the chat, I will say, Doom Guy does not climb with his hand, sheer willpower alone. Alright, so now we're going on to communications. Alright, so this part here has a really weird bug, where we want to activate this elevator, However, if we activate it too early and the other enemy spawns, it will cancel out the call for the elevator to come down. It's really dumb, but luckily you can just circumvent that by clicking that panel a lot. Also, we are going to lower this elevator down to the 2nd floor so that we have to wait for less time on it when we get to the second half of this level. And if anybody's really curious, if you've never played Doom 3, at this point the main objective of the game is we need to find a transmission card to call reinforcements. However, we're kind of on a race against time because Counselor Swan and Sergeant Campbell want to get it as well. But they kind of just don't want anybody to send transmissions because they're trying to keep this place, safe. And that's going to come to play on this map specifically because at one point we're going to be given a choice. And I will say that every major choice point in this game has no significant effect on the gameplay. It does have an effect on the speedrun though. God, that's scary. If I'm not careful there, sometimes the Caco demons can knock me into the pit. Alright, so this section's kind of random in all the worst ways. Mostly it kind of just depends on what your shotgun's going to do for you. As you can see, it's not doing its job very well right now. But we want to clear out the enemies before the robot sees them, so that he doesn't stop and try to shoot them. Because we need him to get to door to door so that he can unlock the next room and we can make progress. And if he's, stopped for anything, then that, that's slow. Alright. I also like to call this guy Brobot, even though he's the furthest thing from it. He kinda isn't though, he really helps out. He's a good guy. Oh god. Alright, so now we gotta wait on an elevator. Meantime, we're just gonna kind of deal with these Caco demons. You don't want enemies to get in the doorways of the elevators, because they will keep it from shutting. And that's just really arbitrary time loss. So that's why we want to keep them away from the elevator.
Watch out. Get that transmission sent.
Alright, so now here comes the pivotal choice. We have the transmission card, so we're either going to send the transmission or cancel it. And this seems completely unnecessary, but it's very important that we cancel it, because, hold on, let me do something cool here. You can clip your head out of bounds. It's useless, though. But canceling this is going to save a few seconds in an upcoming map. I think it's about 6 seconds faster.
Transmission terminated.
But, Sergeant Kelly's kind of pissed, so we gotta just keep going and ignore his message he's given us. Alright. So now we just gotta make our way back to the beginning, so we can go to the... In this level, there's a door at the very beginning that's locked. The whole purpose, other than sending that transmission, is to get to that door and unlock it, so we can go to the next map. Alrighty. And this elevator is the one we had to lower this for. It saves a few seconds if you do that, so you don't have to wait as long for it. That guy died. That's good. Now we're on a monorail sky bridge. This level's pretty cool. Alright, so we're just gonna walk across this bridge. Never mind, we're not. Let's just go this way instead. Oh my god, he's not dead. I thought I... Well, you know what? Alright. You win. So we're gonna throw a grenade to do some damage to that guy. Hopefully we kill the zombie. We did. But all the enemies in this room have to die in order for this door to unlock. And now we're being introduced to the Revenants. Enemies from Doom 2. Yeah, this is the Revenants. Great introduction. They're actually extremely weak in this game. It's actually possible to get a one-shot with a shotgun on them, but it is extremely luck-based, so we don't really go for it. The chainsaws are a much more reliable means of dealing with them. Shoot. Alright, so this section is really obnoxious because these guys can be really random. And I got a little bit unlucky there, so I had to kill that one. Alright, so remember that thing I said about slope jumping? We're gonna do it in the smallest slope possible right here, first try, because, you know, what can I say, I'm a god gamer. Alright, so I'm gonna save here because we're about to go on these pipes, which is the intended route of the game, and those falling onto those pipes as well as walking across them is extremely iffy. Someone thought that was a good idea. So we're gonna go through this area now. There's a lot of spiders. We're gonna just try and avoid them and clear them up with the plasma gun. Alrighty. We're gonna do a little bit of a jump sequence to get across here, because that toxic sludge hardly does anything to us. Now we're gonna pick up the rocket launcher. This weapon is extremely useful, and you're gonna get your first instance of it relatively soon here. So this game also has explosive jumping, which you saw earlier. If you're just now tuning in, just so you know, you can blow yourself up to go higher. And here we're going to stack a grenade and a rocket, hopefully. Nice, first try. So stacking a grenade and a rocket jump will give us significantly more jump height, and that lets us skip straight to the end. Now we're going on to recycling. This is the level where that choice we made in the communications level comes into play, because there's a cutscene that'll happen once we push this. I'm also going to save here real quick. And we're going to ignore it by leaving that room. It still has to play out, but the message that we get for canceling the transmission is faster than if we don't cancel it. Like I said, by about 6 seconds. And exiting that room makes it so we can just go straight up here and not have to wait on it. Now we just gotta hear this awful monologue from Betruger, the main villain of the game. So yeah, the rocket launcher is good for explosive jumps, but it's also the best close-range weapon you have in this game. As you'll see very, very shortly here. A little bit of a shortcut here and throw this grenade just at a spot so it blows up, hits him, and also blows up the barrel. Oh, damn it. Alright. Sometimes, that was a pretty hasty shot, but sometimes you'll point the gun right at the barrel with the shotgun and it just will not shoot and blow up the barrel. Alright, this is a little bit of a random section here, depending on what the lost souls do. was unlucky, but it's okay. Alrighty. And then we also have these little baby demons. These things are annoying. They're not so bad, but some maps they can be a real pain in the ass because they, like the baby demons, like the bull demons, can just cause your aim to go all over the place when you get hit by them. Alright, so now we're gonna fight the Mancubus, or so we are led to believe. That is what the developers want us to do, but what Ripship wants to do is rocket jump up here and skip this whole fight. Alright, so now we just need to turn off all this poison gas. Please, alright. And we're done with this level. Okay, monorail. So this level sucks. I do not like this level at all because it consists of long auto-scrolling train rides and two kind of, well, one annoying rocket jump and one that's kind of difficult. Hopefully this doesn't slow me down too much. But we have no way of speeding up this train ride, so we're just gonna chill for a bit, you know? I don't know who Psycho Ripper is. You're going to have to clarify.
But I bet it has to do with those artifacts we were digging up at Site 2.
Yeah, the fun thing to do while you're on the train is just jump and let momentum do its thing.
In the Delta complex.
Do a nice little series of jumps with a crouch jump at the end. It's pretty technical. It's kind of hardcore. Also, you can it's possible to turn on this train and have it ride and be on the rails while outside of the train, but it's really not worth it because it's not really faster. And if you're careless on this train on the rails, every single area outside that's rendered does not have collision, so you'll fall to your death.
Airlock malfunction. Please contact engineering to facilitate repairs.
Alrighty. So I'm gonna kill a few enemies here that are just gonna be in the way. I don't think I killed that one. It's okay though. I'm gonna save here. And do a little bit of, oh shoot, I missed. That's fine. I'm gonna do a rocket jump up to this section. Maybe we won't. Let's see. Why am I not getting up here? This is whack, dude. What? Oh, okay. Okay. This is not that hard of a jump. I'm just a dingus, and that is a little alarming, because this is not the only rocket jump we do. The other one we're going to be doing is significantly harder. So, guys, I need you to pray for me, because that was messy. I think I just had a bad position, if anything.
Now leaving Site 2.
But yeah, that rocket jump pretty much skips that major section of the level. Now we're just taking a very fast train ride to the next part. And it's just like that one level in Star Fox where, you know, the train doesn't hit the brakes. Alright, I'm gonna save here again, because a ladder.
To Delta Complex access ramp. Track sensor
So this level has one of the trickier explosive jumps here. I'm gonna line myself up carefully here. I didn't get it first try. That's a shame. I'm not too worried about it. I don't know why that didn't work. That's whack. Alright. Please work. Yeah, this is a pretty tricky jump. This is pretty strict timing to it. Alright, first try. Yeah, let's go. Hell yeah. Alright. Yeah, that jump's really annoying. I want to give a big shout out to Lecolage because this is going to screw things up. Big shout outs to Lecolage because he found a more consistent way to do that jump, which is still kind of difficult. And because we did that jump, we have to do this a very risky way that has a very high chance of dying if you're not careful. And, well, we made it, so that's cool. Nice. Okay, so this level is where we get into the next major hub of kind of difficult levels. This level is only tricky because it's very important to manage your stamina here, because there's no place for it to really recharge. But we have to activate that thing, which isn't fully activated. We now need a certain thing to actually activate it. So we're gonna get that thing. We're gonna go back and we're gonna actually activate the thing. It's a lot of back and forth on this level. Alright, yeah. So my movement's been a little bit sloppy here, so my stamina's lower than I would like, but it's okay. Everything's cool. Oh man, nice damage boost. Totally intentional. Alright, so now we gotta go here and get to the end of this room to trigger the next part of this level. Opening up. Oh, he came out of nowhere. I've got a really low health here. That's unfortunate, but it's not a big deal. Alrighty, so in this level we have to do a few little things and activate some power. And this elevator we take is going to be broken when we come back, so there's a longer route to take to get back to where we need to be. But it's actually faster if we just go up that elevator. But you might be thinking, Rip Chip, that's ridiculous. You just told me that elevator's broken. Well boy, have I got some news for you. Alright, it's quiz time, guys. If you see a high up place and you can't just get to it normally and you have a rocket launcher, what are you gonna do? That's right, we're gonna rocket jump. And we're gonna combine that with a little bit of a slope jump here to get up here relatively easily. Oh my god. Cacodeme was in a very lucky spot. Sometimes that Cacodemon can be in a really bad location. We'll slow you down a bit. And this is the other area where you need to use the BFG. The enemies are not visible here, but it's okay because there's a whole party here. And that's why we need to have a BFG round left over at this level. Because otherwise that room becomes an absolute mess. Alright, not bad. Not a bad level. Alright, so now we're going to Delta Section 2A. This level's broken up into two parts. And this part is one of the shortest maps in the game. It also has a pretty huge sequence break that is also the easiest one in the game. Alright, just gotta go with this elevator. Oh nice, I got a one-shot on him. That doesn't happen very often. Alright, and we have these commando enemies that have chain guns. They are normally really annoying, but we can just jump right past them. Alright, so coming up here is some pretty sick speed tech. For whatever reason, the end level triggers in the corner of this map, in that room right there. So we can just rocket jump to it and skip the rest of the level. It's pretty dope. So now we're on to the second part of Delta 2, which is also really short. Because we are also going to skip a good majority of it. Alright. Just gotta clear up some enemies, get this PDA. And we need the PDA so we can get into this area. So like I said, we're gonna be skipping pretty much this entire map by doing a rocket jump up here, and we're gonna do another combined explosive jump here. This one's pretty lenient. Unless you're me, because, you know, I'm not good. Oh, boy. Alright, sweet. And it sucks because we don't even need that much boost from it. Normally, a rocket jump you would think would be enough, but we need just the extra boost that comes from the grenade to make it up here. And since we know all the codes, this level becomes very short. Alrighty. Alrighty, so now we're on to Delta Labs 3. This is, in my opinion, one of the hardest maps in the game to do fast. There are two relatively difficult sequence breaks we have to do. And we're going to attempt to do something here. Didn't get it, but that's okay. If we hit a certain height with that ceiling tile when it falls, we can actually despawn one of the commandos. What? Just blew that up. Alright, that was weird. Alright, so I'm doing a little bit of a safe... maybe not. Hold on one second. I was gonna say, I'm doing a little bit of a safer thing where I just shoot myself a lot to get up here. Alright. And we have to do another combined jump here. This one's a little bit difficult. But I got it first try, you know, because value. But that's only half of the battle, because there's one more big sequence break we have to do that's a lot harder, in my opinion. Oh, I got sent really far back from that. Alrighty. So we're going to activate these teleports. We're going to go teleport to another part of the map that we normally can't get to. That is intentional, but the trick with this level is that they destroy the bridge that you're supposed to take to get to the exit. So you have to do a lot of teleporting and such to get to the exit. But we're going to avoid doing all of that with a very difficult sequence break. Just gonna kill these enemies so they're not in the way. So this is the notorious Delta 3 bridge skip. I'm doing a slightly easier variation of it. And the thing that makes this difficult is you have to have very well-spaced and well-timed jumps to make it across. Oh my god, I'm jumping way too fast. It's not good. There we go. Yeah, it jumps pretty tricky, and also you need to do crouch jumping at the end of it so that you can make it onto the bridge. Yeah, this is a very difficult trick, though. Alrighty, so now we're on to almost the last part of Delta. We have a little bit of a place we have to go after this fight that isn't Delta Labs. And once again, the BFG shows how just ridiculously busted it is. Now we're going on to Hell, which is, casually in my opinion, one of the coolest parts of the game, but it's also my favorite level in the run, because there's a lot of really cool tricks in this one. Alright, so at the start, we're just gonna get a few things, help us, you know, get things going. Because when we go into this level, we lose all of our equipment. So, that's not a huge issue because we're going to get most of it back pretty quickly. But we have to wait for, once again, Betruger to finish monologuing so that we can actually start the level. But yeah, like I said, there is a lot of different tricks involved in Hell, and it makes it a really cool level. It's one of the more fun ones. Also, this, for whatever reason in Hell, you don't have stamina, which is also really convenient because it's one less thing you have to worry about. So first things first, there's a bridge we have to cross to get to the other side. And normally we're supposed to kill all these enemies to get to it. However, the collision on the bridge is still there, just the bridge itself isn't, so we can just jump across it. And that can be pretty tricky because, you know, you can't really see the bridge, and there are still a few holes in the bridge you gotta watch out for. Alright, we're gonna stun lock this enemy. Just a basic animation abuse there. We have to go into both of these rooms to open up the next area. For whatever reason. Alright, this is not quite as effective as I hoped, but I always save here because you gotta be very careful. It's very easy to just fall here because the geometry on those platforms is extremely unreliable. Okay, this is annoying. Alright, cool. But here we have to just do a lot of killing in order to get to the next area. Alright, so now we got hopefully another relatively cool skip coming up here. Normally you have to ride this little elevator here, but we can just fall here, and because of the location of that slope, we don't take any fall damage. Let's just go straight here, and that saves well around 10 seconds. Alright, we just gotta kill a few enemies here, give this guy a punch in the ribs. Alright, now, save here. We still have Berserk, so we're still able to move really fast. That was unfortunate. I had a very poorly timed jump there. Sweet. So let's just cross that chasm relatively easily. But also, you're very fast. If you don't have Berserk at that point, it's still possible to do it. It's just a little bit trickier. Oh, that was very scary. I almost just died. A lost soul hit me from behind. Alright, I must save here in case this goes badly. Which it almost did, thank goodness. I'm just gonna sneak past that Hell Knight. And once again, we have the BFG. And ammo management for the BFG on this map is very crucial. Because by the end of this map, we need to have 4 BFG rounds and at least a fully loaded rocket launcher. I didn't charge that enough. Wow, nice. Because that'll allow us to quick kill the boss of this level. The way the boss of this level works is that he has a blue orb where he takes damage, and you're supposed to activate that orb by killing his drones, but he already shows his thing right at the beginning. I don't think I did that a little too late. Okay, sweet, we still managed to do it, nice. The timing on that's pretty strict, but if you charge the BFG and load 4 or 5 rockets into that spot, right off the bat you can kill him in one cycle.
And we will help you. Vanquish our enemies, and we grow stronger. Listen for our call.
And now we have the Soul Cube, which is an extremely useful item, because it will instantly kill any normal enemy in the game. And in order to activate it, you need to kill 5 unique enemies, or no, yeah, 5 enemies in general, or of any type. You can also kill NPCs for it, but that's just cruel and evil. But it will allow you to instantly kill any normal enemy, and it also gives you health back, which is really useful. You actually get the Soul Cube at the beginning of Nightmare difficulty, because in difficulty you're constantly losing health. Just kind of wild. Yeah, we're getting close to the end. But once again, now that we're out of hell, okay, that's not lucky. Now that we're back... Okay, that's also not lucky. Unfortunate, but whatever. We lost our gear once again, because we've, spent over half the game with it, and now we have to get it in hell again, and now we have to get it out of hell again. But, like I said, you will get this all relatively quickly, like you did in hell. Alright, so coming up here is a little bit of a tricky thing. I'm going to try to do this the fastest way. I'm going to save just in case I screw this up. Nice, we got it. We're going to use the Soul Cube, that's a demonstration right there. The Soul Cube will instantly kill that Archvile and give us all that health we didn't have back. And part of the late game routing, the most pivotal part of it, is to route your kills so that you have Soul Cube at specific points in the rest of the game, so that you can take out bigger enemies, and it also helps you with managing your health a little better. toward the end. Also, we killed Counselor Swan, the other, like, side character. He gives us a PDA, but other than that, he's useless. So now we're going on to my least favorite level in the entire game, which is Central Processing. This is not only not a fun level for the run, but it's also a very poorly designed level in general. It's an absolute clusterfuck, and there's a lot of enemies all over the place, and if you get unlucky, it can be a real nightmare to get through. I'm actually going to kill this little guy here, just so he doesn't cause me issues. And I'm going to save here because the platforming on these things is really, really sketchy. Alright, so we have to ride these elevators up to the 3rd floor to get the item we need to move forward. Oh, come on. And we almost have enough kills for a soul cube, which is good. We're going to need that in the next map. Oh my god, I did this without saving. That was kind of ballsy. Sometimes if I'm not lucky, the baby demon or the commando can knock me off the side, and that will cause me to go back to the 2nd floor. That is a huge time loss. You lose close to like 25 seconds if that happens. But it didn't. So that's cool. Nice. Alright. So we got lucky here. Sometimes the enemies will get into this room, and then you have to navigate around them on those platforms. And now we have this. This is actually very forgiving. Sometimes they'll cluster in a way that's really hard to deal with. You'll often get stuck. That didn't happen, though. I think all the points in this run went to luck instead of actual execution. Nice. Despite this, I hope you guys are enjoying the run so far. This game's really cool speedrun. I think it's a better speedrun than it is a casual game. And it's also a very overlooked speedrun in the Doom franchise, but it's a pretty cool game. Alright, so coming up here is Central Server Banks. There's a lot of weird things that can happen on this map. Hopefully none of them happen, but if they do, it's gonna be kind of funny. Oh, damn. So one thing I never mentioned about, I don't think I did mention it about the strafe jumping here, is that unlike Quake, you can't buffer your jumps, so you have to time them. So sometimes you can just miss a jump. The timing isn't like super strict or anything. It's not like you need a mouse wheel or something for it. But kill count's really important in this area because we need to have 5 kills by the time we get to the boss of this level, so that we have the soul cube for him. Alrighty, and one of the weird things that can happen here is, I'm gonna save here actually so in case it doesn't happen, is for whatever reason you can just randomly die on this bridge, and I don't know what causes that, so luckily it didn't happen. We're gonna take a very, very small shortcut here and do a little jump here. And do another little one right there. Now we're about to fight the boss of this level, Sergeant Kelly. He's not looking so good. What the? Okay, there we go. I let go of the chainsaw a little too early there. Yeah, that's Sergeant Kelly. All we have to do is throw a soul cube and chainsaw him and he dies. All of the bosses, except for the last one, have relatively fast ways of killing them, which is really nice. Alright, so now we're on to Site 3. Site 3 at the beginning, we're going to do a rocket jump that hopefully will skip a cutscene. First try, nice. But if we don't get that, we have a cutscene, and we also have to fight a Hell Knight, which is a huge waste of time. And that jump is a lot trickier than it looks, because the trigger for the cutscene is pretty huge. So we have to do a rocket jump, but we also have to crouch jump at the end of it, so that we can make it to the other side. Ow. What? Okay, that's weird. Gotta do a little bit of a crouch jump in there to squeeze on through. We have the soul cube, and that's gonna be useful in this next room. Alright, so we need to get in there, but there's a guy who's blocking the door because he's scared. We're gonna make him feel a little better, reassure him that everything is gonna be okay. And yeah, see, everything's okay. Nothing to worry about. Like I said earlier, NPCs also count towards the kill count for the soul cube, which is kind of wild. Open, thank you. What? I have no idea where that came from. That was kind of wild. Alright, so the rest of this level is pretty straightforward. We just have to make sure that we kill enough enemies so that we get a soul cube at the end of it. But here at this point, since that boss fight gives you the BFG, this is where BFG use and ammo becomes pretty common. Oh, get out of the way. Alright, and I had bad stamina usage here. That's whatever. I need to get down there, though. Also, fun fact, I recently just got a really solid PV in this game. And I lost about a huge chunk of time in that hallway that I was just in because for whatever reason I got stuck. That was wild. Sometimes that can happen. The geometry in this game is really weird. Sometimes it'll just eat your movement, and sometimes you'll just get stuck in it. It's strange. And it will never happen when you expect it. So now we're going on to the caves. The caves are the last major part of the game. And Caverns 1 specifically is... There's a lot to do on this map, but we're going to skip a huge amount of it. And you'll see soon what we do to do that. Oh, move. Oh, Mr. Skeleton, please. Alright, so we're gonna delay killing this Archvile so he can spawn enemies. Because the Archviles in Doom 3 do that, they spawn enemies. But we want him to do it so that we can have enough kills to get a soul cube. Now we just gotta wait a little bit, just a little bit, not too long though, that's nice. Make it to here. And coming up here will be the first big skip of the level. Normally we're supposed to do some stuff to activate an elevator, but we are our own elevator, so we're just gonna kind of climb down here. And for some reason they thought it was a good idea just to make you take small amounts of damage when you come down here instead of massive amounts that could kill you, so it allows you to skip this whole thing. But I should also mention you need to have full health, relatively full health, and you also have to have adrenaline for that skip to be possible. Because otherwise you won't be able to go the full way at full speed. Oh, that's not good. Alright, a little bit of rocket jump here. That saves another... This is a... I guess this is kind of a big skip right there. That one avoids having to do a really obnoxious section. What do you mean you're not dead? Get out of here. But the other really big skip is coming up here. And this one's just kind of laughable. Alright, so we have to normally take some lengthy different rooms to get down here, which is the exit, but we can just slowly fall in the geometry to get down here instead. So yeah, Caverns 1 is a very broken level. Now we're on to Caverns 2. Caverns 2 is a much more linear level. There's not really any major skips, we just kind of need to get through it quickly. And we can do that with careful management of our weapons here. So you can see my health is very low, but I have the soul cube, which is convenient. Okay, that was weird. I forgot to reload, so that kind of messed things up there. So we have Adrenaline, which is going to make getting through this level not terribly difficult. This is one of those levels where it's very important to know that crouch jumping is important when you're doing strafe jumps, because you can sometimes just bonk your head on these things. Alright, we're going to try to do a double quick kill here. Well, it's not going to be enough. Yeah, it sucks. It's okay. In order for that to work, you need to do a fully charged BFG shot at a very specific spot. But I missed, and I only charged it up to 3. You need to charge it up to 4 for that to work. But it's kind of iffy. The timing's a little bit weird, and the shot needs to be pretty precise. Alright, and now we're on to the final map. We're gonna face off against the final boss. Like I said earlier, all the other bosses are really easy to kill quickly. This one isn't really. There's not really a fast way to do this boss. You just kind of have to do everything the intended way. But one of the ways you can save a little bit of time is by having a soul cube readily available. And the way the final boss, the Cyber Demon, works is you have to you kill a bunch of enemies in a ring. And you do that to get Soul Cube, and you need to hit the Cyber Demon with 4 Soul Cubes in order to kill him. So we're almost at the end of the game, so be ready. There's a lot of weird things that can happen that could set you back. The Cyber Demon can shoot with a rocket and knock you off the ring. Also, if you stand next to the Cyber Demon, he will kill you instantly, which is crazy. So that's one. And the fastest way to do this is just to go in a circle. Make sure you time out your reloads at specific spots. Oh, come on. Sometimes you can outrun the Soul Cube. That's a little bit of a waste of time. We've only got one more Soul Cube to hit him with, and then it's time, so be ready on that. Alright, and time. Alrighty, so that was Doom 3. The run was a little bit messy, but, you know, we managed. And that's cool. I will say that I am definitely not the best runner at this game. If you want to see what a really good run of Doom 3 looks like, check out the world record by Corpse Flesh. If you want to see what godlike Doom 3 gameplay looks like, watch the Nightmare world record, because it's unbelievably nuts. But yeah, the game's really cool. It's a very unique Doom speedrun compared to the other ones, in my opinion. But, hopefully you guys enjoyed the run. Hopefully you're enjoying the marathon. What was my time, by the way?
Recon Zulu, this is Echo 1. Give me a visual status.
I'm very curious about that. Because this game is timed with in-game time, meaning we remove loads. So loads can be usually like 3 minutes or so slower than the in-game time. 107. That is not bad. That is not bad for real time. Wow. Good shit. Alright. So yeah, hopefully you like this. We're gonna just watch this ending real quick, see what happens to Betruger, the big bad guy.
What about Dr. Betruger? He's nowhere to be found, sir.
And this directly sets up for the expansion, Resurrection of Evil, which is also a really cool run. It's a lot shorter, but there's a lot of really, really dumb skips in Resurrection of Evil. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoy the follow-up to this, the Castlevania block. It's going to be pretty sick. There's a lot of good runners, a lot of good people. And yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone.